Su Qingwan, a young girl of 15, became a widow as soon as she entered the palace. Before she could recover from the sad news of the elderly emperor's death, she received an even more terrifying message. As a concubine without children, she would be dragged to be buried with the late emperor. Everything started from that palace banquet. The old emperor was dead drunk. When he looked at Su Qingwan, the prime minister's daughter, he mistakenly took her for his deceased white moonlight beloved Wanwan. The emperor immediately issued an imperial decree to take Su Qingwan into the palace and confer the title concubine on her. When the prime minister and his wife heard the news, they were shocked as if struck by lightning. Their daughter had just turned 15. How could she marry men over 70? But the emperor's words could not be broken. The imperial decree had already been issued. If she refused to marry, it would be a serious crime of disobeying the decree, which would lead to the destruction of the whole family. To not implicate her family, Qingwan resolutely decided to enter the palace. She comforted her parents, saying that marrying the emperor would instead keep her father, who held a high position, away from being involved in factional struggles. Ridiculously, the next day, the emperor, who had sobered up, completely forgot about this matter. He even complained to the eunuch about why he hadn't stopped his nonsense. In this way, Qingwan became concubine man. The emperor gave her all kinds of rewards, but never touched her. He only treated her as a shadow of his deceased beloved. But good times didn't last long. Soon after concubine man entered the palace, the elderly emperor suddenly died of anxiety. According to the ancestral system, concubines without children had to be buried with the emperor. Just as concubine Wen was about to be taken away by force, her father, the prime minister, rushed over and begged bitterly. But imperial concubine Rong refused to give in and urged to carry out the execution quickly. At this critical moment, imperial physician Liu, whom the prime minister had invited, suddenly shouted congratulations and announced that concubine Wen was 1 month pregnant. With the late emperor's bloodline, concubine Wen was naturally spared from death. Back in her bedroom, concubine Wen learned from her father that the pregnancy was fake. It was a plan to deceive the emperor, made by her father and imperial physician Liu, a clansman, to save her. The late emperor had promised to let her leave the palace, but he died before he could make arrangements. Her father had to use this desperate trick to save her life. On the other side, the prime minister secretly met with the 7th prince Xi Chengyu and confessed the truth about the fake pregnancy. He was willing to use his power to help the 7th prince ascend to the throne, with only one condition: to protect his daughter and the entire Su family. The 7th prince immediately agreed to this deal. After concubine Wen learned of her father's plan, she went to see the 7th prince late at night. She only begged that if the matter was exposed one day, he could protect the Su family and imperial physician Liu. The 7th prince looked at the woman, who was nominally his mother concubine, and deliberately put on a cold and heartless look.